At NJM Insurance, making our customers happy is what makes us number one. J.D. Power ranked us first in the nation for customer satisfaction with the auto insurance claims experience. Get award-winning service at njm.com. This isn't just insurance, it's NJM. At NJM Insurance, making our customers happy is what makes us number one. J.D. Power ranked us first in the nation for customer satisfaction with the auto insurance claims experience. Get award-winning service at njm.com. This isn't just insurance, it's NJM.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Our business needs vans, lots of vans, and Europcar meets our day-to-day needs all across the country, providing our company with the ideal selection of small, medium or large vans and trucks, and even bespoke commercial vehicles delivered directly to our premises.
From our 22 nationwide locations, Europcar supplies Irish businesses with an unrivaled range of vans, 4x4 pickups, 4-seater commercial SUVs and double cab tippers. With 9,000 vehicles in our fleet, there's no demand we can't fulfill. Europcar, moving your way.
Sometimes you've just got to get some quality me time. Like right now, when you get away for a few hours to Kildare Village, because we've got hundreds of new arrivals, including new boutiques like Sandro and Maj. Escape to Kildare Village and get front row ready for a new season with a new look and a new smile on your face. A little me time goes a long way at Kildare Village, where there's something extraordinary every day.
Christopher Media. Let's make some noise. From Asthmacore Studios near Detroit, Michigan.
Oh, man.
It's the Weedsman Podcast.
I have no idea what's going on.
And now,
you have smoked yourself retarded.
Here are the Weedsmen.
You want to get high?
It's number 258. I'm Chris.
I'm Aaron.
And hi to all of you people listening on Spotify. We were talking about streaming earlier. Why not? Keep going with the thing.
Spotify has been the...
It has become quite a source of listenership.
That's pushing the numbers up.
Yeah.
Whatever platform works, right?
Yeah.
We're here working on... We're on Memorial Day. We're recording this, right? Aren't we supposed to have the day off? How did we work this out?
All right.
Did you do anything special for the holiday?
I mowed the lawn.
You mowed the lawn today?
Yeah.
You made it today?
Well, because I had a 5-day weekend. Because I was in the office last week, and then I just had a benchmark. Like, if I get X, Y, and Z done, I'm taking Thursday off, and we'll do the rare 5-day weekend. And I got done. You know, I had to stay till 5:15 on Wednesday. But I got done. And all right, 5-day weekend.
Nice.
Played a lot of golf.
You played some golf?
Yeah.
How's your golf game these days?
Awful.
Yeah?
But it gets me outside.
Yes.
That's pretty much the point.
Yeah, an excuse to walk around and
yes,
get your heart rate elevated at least slightly.
Yeah. Did you do anything fun?
Well, I did absolutely nothing today. I had a great nap.
This is supposed to.
But no, I did hang out with my family yesterday. Celebrated a bunch of birthdays.
All at once.
All at once. Got to smoke pot with some relatives again.
There you go. That's always fun.
Well, it's interesting to see the culture, right? You know, we talk about it every week, and we also talk about it from a perspective of guys who've just been pot smokers kind of openly. Not, in ways where it counts. We're not talking to our bosses about cannabis, but otherwise, we don't really feel like we have to hide anything.
Yeah.
We're not wearing, Rastafarian beanies and pot leaves around our necks and putting pot stickers on our cars either. We're not advertising it anymore. Right. We're adults now, right? So
now I used to advertise it heavily, and as I got older, I'm like, it's probably not the greatest idea.
But we don't feel stigmatized either.
Yeah.
Or ashamed of it. And there's a lot of, there's so many secret pot smokers out there.
Still, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But it's interesting to see this in my own family, and I'm sure many families are experiencing a lot of things like this, where, especially around the time where it started becoming legal in states like Colorado, that's probably around the same time that I first smoked pot with my mom, where it was casual enough for her to be like, hey, everyone's gone, and, maybe we can go out on the porch. Would you bring a you-know-what with you? And I was like, all right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to smoke pot with my mom. This was like a moment. Something I had never done before. Now it's no big deal. Now every time I come over, she's like, what'd you bring? Like,
hey, come on. Let's go.
Right. Which this time I actually did show up empty-handed because I was, my source was out of town, you might say, not available. And so I didn't have anything to bring with me. But she actually had a little bit of her own because she had found, somebody, a friend of a friend in town that grew his own out in the wild. And she had a little bit of that left. But here's what's interesting and different about this time. It wasn't after everybody had gone that this came up. This was after dinner, and we had some cake, or maybe we were about to have the cake. If we were smart, we did it before the cake. I can't remember.
Right? Because then you want more cake. If you do it after the cake, you get high and then you're like, oh, remember that cake?
Yeah.
I wish I had some now.
Yeah, I'll just have another half of a piece then. But then you don't want to just leave the other half wasted there for the dog to eat. Then the dog will get sick. So you have to finish the cake.
Yeah.
Both pieces.
No way out of it.
No, so she rolled up a joint. We went out to the garage, and not even inside the garage, just on the porch. Now, I'll have to kind of describe the property a little bit and see if this makes sense. But the garage is kind of a little bit away from the house, and it has a bit of a tree line that kind of grows out around it. So we weren't in view of the rest of the family, like the kids that were playing. What's the type of tennis game called with the rackets that?
Badminton?
Badminton, yes, the one where you hit the birdies.
Shuttlecock?
Yes, the shuttlecock. So, yes, we just sat out by the side of the garage and smoked a joint and ashed it into my mother's antique ashtray that was it was basically a tin box that was bolted to the wall of a shop somewhere at one point with sand in it. Much like we sometimes still see. You see them less and less now because it's even frowned upon to smoke as you approach a store.
Yeah.
But you used to see especially outside the mall, that they'd have the big sand pit.
You go out west in Washington, California. You can't be within 100 feet of a door and smoke.
Yeah, I had one relative that I was the only person that openly vaped. I don't know if anybody else was a vapist.
Vape you right in the mouth.
But I had one relative that was a smoker. Again, openly, but not flaunting it. She actually went over by her car and tried to remain out of sight while she ashamedly and hurriedly reduced that cigarette to ash, and then probably sprayed some cologne all around her and shamefully walked back to hang out with the rest of the family. So there was less stigma on the pot than there was on the cigarettes.
Isn't that funny? Right? All because we voted on it. Now all of a sudden it's, hey, you want to go smoke this before we eat cake?
Well, until
you had to be sneaky about it.
Until you vote on it, there's no way to know for sure whether a lot of your neighbors are secret pot smokers or not.
I was getting high with my godfather for years.
Yeah.
For 16.
Oh, okay.
He found out I smoked, and he was like, once you're 16, smoke. He's like, I could tell you smoke, And then,
if you're smoking already.
Yeah. And then, for sure, every Thanksgiving, man.
Yeah.
Blaze right before dinner.
Well, yeah, this was the most openly that I've done it. The sun was still out. I was sitting outside on the porch of the garage, not the front porch. And it was no big deal. Another relative came upon us and was like, oh, shit, what are you guys doing out here?
What are you doing out here?
When we heard somebody approaching, my mom buried the joint in the sand pit.
My uncle too.
Buried it in the sand pit like it was a cat turd.
I'm when he does that, he'll still do that every now and then. I'm like, I'm 40. You're 61. Like, what? Come on, man. Like, everyone knows what we're doing.
Right.
Like, they joke about it.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, where are those two?
Yeah,
oh,
and if they're coming over, they want to hit it.
They're getting high before
they're
dinner.
not trying to buzz us like, hey, are you guys over here smoking a joint?
He's like, oh, your mom's.
Oh, my God.
Like, oh, your mom's coming. I'm like, so what? My mom's known I've done this for like 20. My mom caught me doing this when I was like 18.
Yeah. And then, before I left, and I left rather late. I didn't want to spend the night there because of the allergies to the pets. We left rather late, probably around 10:30, 11. And my mom and cousins were just getting back from going somewhere. I think they actually went to get papers. So my mom was like, oh, you're leaving? Oh, we're going to go smoke a joint. I'm like, I smoke a joint at my mom's place at 11 o'clock at night. Then how long am I going to want to hang out until I drive an hour back home?
Right.
Like, I might as well be spending the night. By the time I wait for it to wear off and sober up a little bit, I'll be on the road and be just fucking tired.
You're like, listen, Mom, in my 40s.
I think that was her ploy to get me to spend
right.
the night. She wanted me to stay over because I don't blame her. She wants more time with her family. But I can't help it. I'm an adult who likes his own bed.
Right.
There you go. That was the end of my family affair.
This is re-recorded. That is not the original version. The original version's way cooler.
Oh, it says re-recorded. I thought it said remastered. They actually re-recorded it?
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
There you go.
That was. I wonder if that was a rights issue, like we were talking about on the Nugget.
Yeah.
Was there an issue with, like, if they just, maybe they had the rights to the publishing but not the recording? Like there's wah guitar in this. There's more percussion. Yeah. Yeah, the other one was more stripped down. I mean, I don't. It's got kind of a weird tone to the bass. I can understand if they wanted to go in and be like, we can beef up the bass now better. I mean, at the time that this was recorded, though, you had to consider what had to go on the vinyl. You couldn't have a super bass heavy recording because it's going to degrade the quality of your vinyl. It requires wider grooves. There's going to be more. Anyway, why am I getting into this? Nobody's interested in vinyl technology. Speaking of smoking, and the social stigma that it is, which is a hard thing to say, especially when you have a very cottony mouth like I do right now.
Cottony mouth?
Cottony. This stuff is giving me cotton mouth. The social stigma of smoking. It's amazing that anybody actually dares to light up. It's actually news when somebody lights up in public now. Like this guy on the Spirit Airlines flight. Which, I mean, if somebody was to smoke on a flight, it would have to be a Spirit Airlines. It's just like if, somebody was going to be bit by an alligator, it would have to be a Floridian.
Right.
But apparently this guy, well, there's video of it. A guy who lights up a cigarette on a flight very casually and then seems to pass out. So I'm wondering if this guy is drunk. I don't know. We'll have to see the video. So, there's some dude, he just...
No, this music fits this guy, by the way.
He lights a cigarette, blows it out, leans back.
Yes.
Casually closes his eyes.
Awesome.
He does seem like you...
That's awesome because I love how uptight the asshole behind him looks.
Everybody is kind of looking around.
It's like, calm the fuck down. It's a cigarette.
Like, can we get somebody over here? Well, dude, like...
I get it. Trust me. I'm on planes all the time. But calm the fuck down, everybody. It's a cigarette. Watching that guy fidget, calm down, puss bag. It's a cigarette.
Everybody's pointing to him. This dude gets tapped. he's like, so you got to put your cigarette out, and he's like, oh fuck, what?
Your cigarette that shouldn't even be lit.
It's like, oh, dude, I had no idea. Oh, dude, no, seriously, like, I think that's what he said. I couldn't hear him, but that's what he looked like he was saying. The flight attendant said, you cannot smoke on an airplane. That's against the law. Then asked to see his boarding pass.
Well,
why would you ask this? Like,
obviously he has one. You let him on the plane.
Right. No, he was like, I'm going to sneak onto this plane through the luggage compartment only to go sit in a random seat and then smoke a cigarette in order to draw attention to the fact that I'm not supposed to be here.
That's got to be like his first flight ever, right?
This man was in my seat, and I thought he might be inebriated. The passenger who shot the video explained. So he wasn't somebody, but he did sneak on. Once everyone boarded the plane, I got in my assigned seat and then realized his seat was next to mine. I breathed in deeply and told myself that I wouldn't be that person to treat him differently.
The spirit. He could have wandered right onto it.
Wait, I'm unclear as to what this passenger is saying here. That you wouldn't treat him differently because he smoked on the plane, and this was afterwards. So the man was being loud throughout the flight, but roughly 40 minutes before the plane landed, he laid across two seats with his butt towards me. He continued his loud outbursts and began aggressively flipping the tray open and closed. Then he sat up. Well, this guy was like on the spectrum. I saw him take the cigarettes and lighter out of his pocket.
This guy's obviously hammered.
So this guy was drawing attention to himself in some way. They didn't really explain that, though, in the story. But yeah, I guess he had alluded to his possibly socially disruptive behavior even before the guy sat down, to the point where this guy seems like he wants to be a hero. Like, I was going to treat him the same as any other human being, even though I knew that he was drastically fucked in the brain different than everyone else. I was going to pretend that's how magnanimous
everyone
I am.
Wants to be a hero now.
I fucking love retards. Don't talk to me. Look, I got a cousin that's retarded, right? I love these wackos. That was Matt Dillon's character in Something Over Here. I fucking love retards. These crazy kids. But yeah, he was. So I think the other passengers must have thought this guy was either autistic or mentally impaired in some way, to the point where they're like, we're just going to treat him like normal and it's going to be fine. He's just one of us, okay, guys? It's almost like what happens in those teen movies where the unpopular girl gets a chance to hang out with the popular ones, and they dress her up and do her hair and they take her glasses off. And, she's beautiful. She's one of us. But, I'm sorry, I talk over her.
If she takes off her glasses.
I work with retards.
My real passion is my hobby.
Really? What's that?
I work with retards.
That mustache.
That guy's my hero.
This horribly written story that I'm reading about this in the Daily News ends with, smoking has been banned in all commercial flights in the U.S. since 2000. Doesn't even say since, should say since. The Federal Aviation Commission can issue fines of up to $25,000. Yes, thank you. Yeah, no shit. We all know it's illegal, and that it's been illegal for damn near forever. But in order to be seen as actual news, they had to throw that in there.
That's why I like vaping. Because when I'm at airports, especially when I'm catching a connector, there's only one airport in the fucking country you can still smoke at. It's Atlanta, and they have smoking rooms. And they're a sad place. They're a very sad place.
No one at my family get-together looked at me sideways for smoking marijuana. It was when they saw me vaping.
Yeah,
they
but
were
I
like,
can duck
oh,
into
you're doing that?
I can duck into a stall, hit this a couple times.
Yes.
Nobody knows.
Nobody has
to. And I
to.
go on about my day.
Business.
You think you're taking 2 hits of a cigarette without anyone acting like that asshole in the seat next to him?
I'm doing this in your bathroom
I'm
and blowing it right out the vent, and you'd have no idea.
Dude, I ain't blowing out the vent. I just hold it in.
You don't even know.
I either hold it in or I just blow it down into my shirt. You know?
The shirt's a good one. I have mastered the art of vaping in a theater without anyone finding out, using similar methods.
I vape at my desk at work. When I'm the only one in my row, the only thing is I sit right by a window, and if the blinds are open, it's a window of an atrium, so So I just make sure there's no one in the atrium, and I'll sit there and I'll hit it, dude, and I'll just hold it in and I'll ghost it until it's gone.
What you need to do is say like your allergies are really bad and you get like one of those vaporizing humidifier things that actually has like the fog that comes out of it. And just have that going constantly and just blow in that direction.
Did I watch?
No one will know. You're like, I put some incense in there.
I think last trip I maybe had a few too many
for the office
whiskey and gingers, and I almost pulled it out and did it on the plane. I was like,
you almost vaped on the plane.
I was like, I don't want to be on the internet. No, in my seat.
Is it actually illegal to vape on the plane?
Oh yeah, they mention it in.
It's mentioned. Okay, I haven't flown in a while.
Yeah, it's mentioned in their spiel.
But yeah, I think stigma wise, it goes cannabis is below vaping, which is slightly below smoking.
Yeah.
Like
no, I think it goes
cigarettes
like,
is you're killing yourself and everyone else. Vaping is you look like an asshole and you're probably killing yourself. And marijuana is, I'm sorry, you must have cancer.
But let's be honest though now
something.
too. The hierarchy with stigma, it's like cannabis.
Oh, and then alcohol.
Vaping, child rape, smoking.
I think so.
Like, you get looked at now worse if you are smoking a cigarette than...
I think...
Smokers get worse treatment than Michael Jackson.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
I think the reasonable response to this guy just seems to randomly pull out a cigarette and smoke it very casually, right? It didn't look like he didn't furtively, like, hunker down and try and light it with that and blow it into his sleeve. He was smoking like he was smoking on his own couch. And instead of all the people around him being like, press the button, get the person.
Like, that's the thing is that the one guy, like, couldn't, like.
You could just lean over and go, hey, buddy, look, this is a plane. I don't know if you're aware, maybe you haven't flown a while.
The guy behind him, I bet you if they had a monitor on him, he had an erection he wanted to tell on this guy so bad. Like watch him.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you're supposed to be looking at the guy.
The guy in the red shirt there, he's like, teacher, he's
that guy like, teacher.
He's the one who's got not only the arm up, but he's got the other arm propping up the arm that's up.
Like, this guy cannot wait.
I don't care how long I have to be here. I'm going to get noticed so I can tell.
Like, see, he's looking around at everybody. Now he's pulled forward in his seat.
Is nobody going to do anything?
Now he's looking up and down the aisle.
Actually, what is he wearing?
He's side-eyeing this guy. He's got his coat on backwards because he's a fucking idiot.
He's got his hoodie on. I thought he was wearing a Snuggie.
Yeah, now he's hitting the call button. Like I'm saying, I bet you if you got a tumescence monitor on
he looks like
guy.
Remy Malik with a porn stash.
He's like, I cannot wait to tell on this guy. He's smoking a cigarette. We know.
All he had to do is be like, hey, dude, put it out.
Yeah.
Like, you're pissing everyone off. Like, you don't have to call the authorities. I mean, at least they didn't make a huge deal about it and have to land the plane and kick the guy off or something.
Yeah, although I'm sure there's been people online that have said, oh, yeah, white guy smoking on a plane. You don't see dragging him off. Well, for starters, they're in the air.
In our...
they can't.
In the recent history of airplane videos, this is way down on the list. This is mild, right? This is nobody yells, nobody does anything crazy. One guy does something kind of stupid and weird, and then everyone gets on with their day.
Hey, he got a couple puffs off on a plane.
The type of attitude, though, that guy that wants so badly to tell. I mean, he could have just as easily been like, I have to call the FAA. I have dials 911.
I wonder if that guy got arrested when they landed. He probably got a ticket.
It doesn't say. I'm guessing if everyone on the plane was like this gentleman that they talked to, who knows? One guy thought that he might be autistic and wanted to treat him like a normie, and that I don't know if that was the whole plane that thought that, but if they did, then I can't imagine that they'd want to make a huge deal out of it. They're probably thinking, like, he's doing this because he doesn't know.
Oh, that guy just kind of guy likes to party.
And either way, I mean, I'd try and pull it off like that if it were me. If I was, like, maybe really high and totally forgot where I was and just started vaping big clouds, and they had to come over and tell me to not do that, I'd, start smacking my head and being like, I don't. I can't, I don't deal well with confrontation or something. I mean, it's way out of a ticket.
True.
The Weedsman Podcast. ChristopherMedia.net.
Bosch Home Appliances offer the easy way to perfect results. Our Bosch Autopilot ovens with preset recipes make family favourites a perfect success every time. Upgrade to PyroClean for the ultimate convenience. Or the Bosch IDOS self-dosing washing machines. Save up to 38% on detergent with one fill for 20 washes. With Which award-winning products and reliable local service teams, it's no surprise Bosch is Europe's #1 major appliance brand. Check out the full Bosch range in-store or at euronics.ie.
The Jaguar I-Pace is setting the pace for electric vehicles. Winner of the 2019 World Car of the Year, World Green Car of the Year and World Car Design of the Year. To celebrate this treble win, we're offering €3,000 off all Jaguar models, plus a free 3-year service plan. Set the pace. Book your test drive today at Conlon's Jaguar Nace. Offer available until the 31st of August.
Everyone shouts about how fast their broadband is.
We're fast, mega fast, stupid fast, almost too fast.
But what do they say about reliability? Well, Dublin, with Virgin Media you get both. Ireland's fastest broadband network and 99.9% network reliability. Reliability at speed. See virginmedia.ie.
Terms and conditions apply. Ireland's fastest broadband network as awarded by Ookla. Network reliability. See virginmedia.ie/proof.
ChristopherMedia.net. The Weedsman Podcast.
Did you hear Howard Stern on Fresh Air?
Did not.
Two giants of the interview world.
Terry Gross and Howard Stern.
Terry Gross and Howard Stern.
How was it?
It was a good interview. I was looking for it. I'm not a big fan of him, though. I've never listened to his show. Have you? You were a periodic listener to him?
I was never a fan of him because it always he always and I've heard recently he started copying to this because he's been in therapy. It always turned into him. It always turned into talking about him.
Yeah.
All of his interviews. When back in the day, I'm like, this guy everyone thinks he's so great. He turns every interview into talking about him.
Yep. And they get into this I don't know if they get into it directly in that, but if you listen to the interview, he talks a lot about how the whole idea was to draw attention to himself.
Mm-hmm.
He was just some normal, kind of weird, little bit introverted kid who decided like he has to really put himself out there and be provocative in order to keep people's attention. And when you get famous for that, especially, now the pressure's really on. You have to keep pushing that envelope. It's like if your job is making John Wick movies and you make a badass action film that's just wall-to-wall, amazing action, and now everyone wants a sequel. They're like, all right, I guess we got to dial it up to 11 now. And they're like, okay, but
we're going to come up with more things to kill.
Everything's got to be a trilogy these days. So is there a 12 or 13 on that knob too that we can turn it up to? Sure, why not? We can just lose most of what was the little bit of plot that was there initially and just make it all action.
John Wick 4, we bring the dog back and they kill him again.
John Wick 4 has the dog, the reincarnated dog, but it's done with cybernetics, so it has guns in its mouth, and when it barks,
every time it barks, it shoots bullets that shoot lasers.
Yes.
The dogs, when they bark, they shoot bees.
That's a good point. Like, why would you go through cybernetics and then give it something that used bullets as ammunition? You just go straight to lasers with the cybernetics, don't you?
You have to, right?
You'd have, John Wick and a team of cats with laser eyes. Yeah, he was the #1 shock jock in an era of the shock jocks. And you have to keep pushing that. It's like, hey, let's get more strippers and porn stars on. Let's see how much we can push this. And especially when everybody's applauding you the whole way. I mean, not everybody. Like you said, it wasn't really your thing.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought that he was egotistical and he was creepy.
Yeah.
But that's subjective as well.
And everything turned into Take Your Top Off.
I was a big fan of Drew from Drew and Mike, but he was always doing the same shit. You know, they'd get somebody is on the phone. It happens to be a woman. It's like T-minus 20 seconds to Mike asking her what her cup size is.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that I didn't go for it completely. It just didn't work with me. I think that in conjunction with this kind of big New Yorker kind of talk and thing that just didn't fit. But I still think he's an interesting dude.
Or the dogs with bees in their mouth, and when they bark, they shoot bees at you? Well, go ahead. Do your worst.
Are they ever going to end?
The Simpsons?
I think they'll get to season 4. Someone's going to have to die. Right? Well, people have died. But I mean, in Maine, like Dan Castellaneta or Julie Kavner is going to have to croak.
Yes. Or just give up. Well, it's like...
Harry Shearer is going to have to kick the bucket.
Harry Shearer has tried to walk away from it, and they just keep throwing money at him.
And they went, all right, we're sorry.
He's like, this is going to be my last season. They're like, yeah, we get it. Look, let's see how much we can get you. No, really. This is going to be my last season. All right.
Keep writing him checks. He can't go like...
How many zeros? Just tell me when to stop adding zeros to this check, okay?
Like stuff he would be foolish to say no to.
Right. And for...
But also, too, do you think after 30 years...
Stuff that he could do in his sleep now.
Right? Also, too, do you think after 30 years, they'd be like, all right, we don't need you. After 30 years, we have you saying everything we need to say.
The difference is...
Well, he does many characters, but for someone like Homer, like... Hey.
At this point, you can only do that with people who have died because nobody owns a likeness to dead people, at least in most cases.
Mm-hmm.
Most people don't have their likeness. You know, like Harry Shearer is a perfect example. Somebody who is, if not recognizable by name, probably can't go anywhere without somebody going, it's that guy. You know, it's the guy from Spinal Tap, or it's the guy from all those fucking...
all the Christopher Guest movies.
Yeah, from the Christopher Guest movies. But yeah, I lost my train of thought completely. I don't even know. What are we talking about?
Simpsons. Harry Shearer.
The Simpsons.
Someone's for it to end, someone's have to die their way out of it.
Oh no, owning something. Yeah, like I think at a certain point, there's going to be like a lot more actors that are actually trademarking their likeness and voice and everything.
Or someone's just going to have to want to retire.
Which means that at a certain point, that's an IP that is worth something. So if you want to retire, you could go, they still want me to do Brad Pitt. It's like, I'm getting old. I don't really want to do these crazy movies, but they want me to do 14 Monkeys. So I'll just sell them my likeness, and they'll put that into the computer. I watched footage earlier today of animation of still images. Some of these were paintings, so it's never going to look like a real person, but the idea that you could just take a picture of a person's face in a painting and make it say something. Others were photographs. So these are instances not where they scanned somebody's head or took a lot of footage of somebody and used all that data. This was taking a single image of a person and animating it to say whatever they want.
Well, yeah, look at...
and not in this way where it's not like watching Conan O'Brien and they animate the mouth. They do like they used to do Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
Yeehaw!
Yeah, those were great.
They're full on like moving their heads around and talking like a normal person would. It's not like a stone-faced portrait that happens to move its mouth and eyes a little bit. Oh, that's a fucked up one. Who's the Michael Jackson and
Lisa Marie Presley? This is from 1994.
Welcome,
Damn.
Welcome, sir. Hello, Cody.
Yes. That's so
and welcome, Miss.
Thank you very much. Okay, so first question. Are you a felon?
She's doing the sneer.
Oh, man, not me.
I'm not a convicted felon.
That's good. Now we have to determine
jokes about child molestation.
Impartiality.
I don't know what that is, man.
Well, that's whether you already believe that O.J. is guilty or not.
Oh, he did it. He did it.
What?
He did it. Everybody says so. I seen it on television. Television doesn't lie. Plus, he's black.
What?
Can't trust those black people, Conan. They're crazy.
Michael, what are you talking about? You're black.
I am not.
Oh, man.
Jesus.
Now you gone and done it. You made the freak boy cry.
Okay, all right. We get the idea.
Yeah, we do get the idea. That one of Jimmy Carter where they made his mouth like the whole bottom half of his head is really weird.
Is he 100?
Jimmy Carter?
He's
still going, right? Like he went to the hospital or something. I don't know.
Gerald Ford's dead, right?
I think he broke his hip.
Gerald Ford is dead, right?
Yeah. I think that like the idea that somebody lives that long and then breaks a hip, that's usually like you're probably going to die in the hospital, right? But no, he's out. I don't know. I don't think he's back to hammering houses together.
Yeah, okay, wow, yeah. Ford's been dead for 13 years.
That makes sense. He was the clumsy one, right?
He's the oldest living president. Because all that's left is, all the 70s presidents are dead except Carter. The Gipper's long gone.
Oh, God.
H.W. just passed.
So Clinton would be the oldest
Clinton,
after...
Yeah, so you got Carter, Clinton,
What does that tell
W,
you?
and Barry.
See? Democrats live longer.
Right.
So, it's Memorial Day.
It is.
It's finally summer, right? Is it?
Unofficially.
Yeah.
Calendar, we still got another month-ish.
I mean, weather-wise, this is like the perfect spring, in my opinion. Nights that don't dip below 55 usually, days that don't go much above 80, and you get a little rain here and there.
Started. It's been
perfect. It's a very short period for Michigan.
It just started because it's been raining in the 50s for like the last month and a half.
Yes, and we're finally getting into that little bit of stretch. We need to enjoy it before it just shoots straight up to 95. People in Arizona listening are like, fuck you.
Yeah.
It's 115 out already. Sucking my dick.
It's dry heat.
I'd have you suck my dick if it wasn't pasted to the side of my leg.
Right.
So, but of course, with springtime comes the allergies, which seem to be getting increasingly worse for everybody that I talk to. Anyone who experiences any sort of allergic reaction to environmental things. My son, it's grass is a big one. Me, it's everything. Seattle Weekly had a story. It says, good news for stoners, treating your allergies with weed.
Say what now?
Cannabis can be the next treatment for your chronic, acute, seasonal allergies. And of course, it's all about the CBD. They're citing that CBD oil works as a powerful treatment for asthma and COPD by suppressing the symptoms that lead to an attack. I've never actually taken CBD on its own, and I think that the effects that I see from smoking cannabis in and of itself, relatively minor. But then again, I have to have an asthma. I have asthma that needs to be properly medicated on a daily basis.
Well, hell, dude, you can get CBD at the gas station now. You can get CBD at 7-Eleven.
You can get CBD at the Family Video, which, first of all, there's still fucking Family Videos. And also, why are you selling CBD then?
Right. For family.
They do cite a paper in the journal Pulmonary Pharmacology and Therapeutics that says CBD treatments have proven to stop the decrease of airway flow and make breathing easier. When an allergen was introduced into the subject, CBD oil helped control the production and behavior of mast cells, the white blood cells that freak out when an allergen enters your body and produce histamines.
Is there anything CBD can't
This
do?
is the globby white shit that, excuse me for a second, I'm going to be gross, that I occasionally have to spit out that accumulates in my lungs. That is quite nasty. And this shit is like worse than your snot. It's so thick and mucusy and just sticks to everything.
That shit is gross.
It is very gross. But anybody with allergy-related asthma knows what I'm talking about. So I don't know. Maybe I have to give the CBD a try. Like I said, if it's having any effect on me now, I would imagine I'd have to like smoke a lot more of it to see it be a way to wean me off of other types of medications. They're also citing that the cannabinoids control inflammation, relieve nasal pressure, manage pain, and of course, induce calmness and sleep.
Hey, what's the name of the Tom Waits song where he does all the commercial tropes?
Step Right Up.
There we go. Because that's how I feel about what CBD is right now. It does everything.
Here's how crazy that
break your leg, rub CBD on it, you'll heal the bone right in front of you.
Yeah. If you thought cannabis was like the cure-all, like CBD apparently is going to just do everything for you. It's going to solve world peace. It's going to end world hunger. The CBD craze, it's so ridiculous that people that I know who are involved in raising cannabis plants, either for their own purposes or selling it off to other people, anybody who's looking to monetize it though in any way, are now talking about harvesting that CBD product in some fashion because it's sometimes even more profitable. For example, there's gas stations that are selling basically CBD buds. Dried cannabis plant that is very CBD heavy, has almost no THC in it, so it's non-psychoactive, but looks like any other plant. Mm-hmm. And people are smoking it for the CBD and probably maybe for the experience too. And it's not completely ridiculous. I mean, if you are somebody who is a regular smoker and you have to stop for some reason, whether you just want to, flush your system, you got to apply for a new job or something like that, but you still want some of those CBD benefits and you're used to ingesting it like that, then I can see actually smoking a CBD strain. But it's actually becoming popular as its own thing.
My mom was giving it to her puppy.
That's what my ex was
going to do. Calm the fuck down.
My ex has a cat that has seizures. I said, might as well try it. Family Video at the corner has, CBD products. She went and shopped around for them, I guess, and so it was like, I didn't get the pet branded CBD product because it was more expensive. So I'm just going to give them the regular people shit. I'm sure it's all the same. I'm like, I'm sure it is too. I mean, nobody really knows. That's the thing. Everybody's just guessing when it comes to the actual science of any of this shit. All we know for sure is there doesn't seem to be any side effects.
Smash cut to the cat's head in the refrigerator.
The Weedsman Podcast. ChristopherMedia.net.
The Jaguar I-Pace is setting the pace for electric vehicles. Winner of the 2019 World Car of the Year, World Green Car of the Year and World Car Design of the Year. To celebrate this treble win, we're offering €3,000 off all Jaguar models, plus a free 3-year service plan. Set the pace. Book your test drive today at Conlon's Jaguar Nace. Offer available until the 31st of August.
Everyone shouts about how fast their broadband is.
We're fast, mega fast, stupid fast, almost too fast.
But what do they say about reliability? Well, Dublin, with Virgin Media you get both. Ireland's fastest broadband network and 99.9% network reliability. Reliability at speed. See virginmedia.ie.
Terms and conditions apply. Ireland's fastest broadband network as awarded by Ookla. Network reliability. See virginmedia.ie/proof.
ChristopherMedia.net. The Weedsman Podcast.
And now that they're looking at, especially CBD for things like injuries and recovering from those injuries, especially head injuries, concussions. Mm-hmm. You're going to have, probably a big market for those types of CD. God damn it. Concussions like what happens to NFL players.
Yeah, I saw that story as well. I'm guessing that's what we're about to talk about.
It seems like they're finally coming around. Both the players union and the owners of the NFL teams as their own organization are talking about, what do we want to accept as far as cannabis. They're realizing that first of all, it's not really an effective tool for the team owners to use anymore, because the only way to properly do this, if you don't want your team to smoke any cannabis, the proper way to do it is to have regular drug tests. But if they do that, it's going to fuck up their team, because they're going to have regularly guys who are getting caught and being benched for some reason, and now they are not, winning games anymore.
Well, it's a plus if maybe you play for Seattle, Denver,
right?
Any team in California, any team in Michigan, any team in Massachusetts. You can do that in those states.
Mm-hmm.
That's the other thing I don't think that everyone forgets about. It's like, if they can have a beer on their off day, if you play for Seattle and you live in Seattle, why on your off day can you not do this? It's legal to do it in Seattle.
All right. I forgot where I was going.
NFL using cannabis.
Oh, right. So if you're going to have a cannabis policy, you need to have a blanket policy. If you selectively use that and go, so-and-so, you got to piss today.
Yeah.
And then that guy pisses dirty, and now you got him suspended, or you're fining him, or whatever. You're punishing him some way. It really looks like you're just singling people out.
Mm-hmm.
Why do they get a piss test? Well, maybe maybe there's other things that they did that pissed somebody off, so to speak, and they wanted to discipline them.
You just got to make
way.
Everybody piss. If you make everybody piss, then you have problems.
Right. So either you're accused of selectively testing your guys because maybe you don't like this guy, or maybe you don't like the way he's performing. This is a way to kind of bench him.
Or you're in danger of having to cancel football. Hey,
or
we're canceling this week. We don't have enough players.
Right.
Everyone's suspended.
So let's all start talking about this like adults, admitting that there are people who do it on both sides. On both sides. There's NFL players and NFL owners who are smoking marijuana. That's true.
A lot of bad dudes.
Because I highly doubt. I mean, who amongst the NFL owners is really that dead set against smoking pot, and probably enjoys it themselves on occasion?
I mean,
it's the image. That's what they're worried about. We have an image of NFL equals America.
But the way those guys work, as long as the team's winning, they give no shits.
They give no shits what they do on their off time, especially as long as nobody else finds out about it. It's only when people find out that somebody is doing something irresponsible or even harmful to somebody else that they're like, oh, this is not NFL behavior. Well, apparently it is, and you only have a problem with it when these guys are getting caught. There's very little talking to what type of I'm sure they talk about conduct. Anyway, I'm not talking about the fucking what I don't know. the intricacies of the NFL. I can't go that far down that rabbit hole. But I do know weed, and what I do know about the NFL is that they want to align themselves with what they consider to be American values. So as American values on cannabis shift, that's when NFL, they're not going to be on the forefront of going, we need to talk about this issue.
Yeah.
The only issue they want to talk about is, do they have the right players, and are people still paying money for their goods and their performances.
Are they still able to generate billions of
everything
dollars of
else, what the NFL as an organization, any decisions that they're making about what they want to portray as an image, how they want to conduct themselves as an organization is purely based on marketing, as is true for any organization. They're not individuals. They don't have intent. It's kind of like when people talk, and I'm guilty of it as anyone. We like to talk about the internet as doing things and having opinions, and the internet did this, and Twitter did that, and Facebook did this, and I think we need to remember these are collectives. And yeah, the NFL has no opinion on cannabis. They have opinion on, whether they want their players to follow the law or not.
Yes.
Or just, because it's not always about breaking the law. Sometimes it's just about doing something that the fans might not approve of. So yeah, but they're finally talking about actually allowing players to use it as a pain management tool. And
slow down.
Well, if the NFL wants to be, the NFL wants their values to represent American values, then they are going to have to start looking with a serious eye at the use of opioids. Because just the way that American families are learning this the very hard way, when they're losing family members to this epidemic, the same shit is going down in the NFL.
Do you know who Brett Favre is?
Yes.
Brett Favre wrote a book talking about there was a period where he said allegedly
he is
not on game day.
He one of just 5 that I could name on one hand.
He was just chewing Vicodin, just mounds of Vicodin.
Yeah.
Mounds of Vicodin.
I've heard that.
So yeah, it's you don't start looking into other forms of pain management. You just create more of those stories. Where, hey man, the older you get, the more it takes. I played like 4 rounds of golf in a row. Like, I am fucking sore, man. And there are guys, like Tom Brady is my age. He's like a year older than me. He's still playing football. Drew Brees is my age. There are guys that are my age still playing football. It's just like, there's got to be some kind of pain management. There has to be. The spirit is willing, but the flesh gets weak.
We also we need our NFL players smoking pot because they're probably the only ones keeping the bong alive. But that's just what I know from watching players.
Oh, ballers.
Ballers. Thank you.
Wow. Sound like a big fan.
I am a big fan of that show, actually. I'm looking forward to coming back. I don't think it's anything amazing. I just think it does what it does really well. But it doesn't get into it gets way more into the intricacies of politics and business, way more than it does sports. Sports is just a background for it to put its stories.
That's another one of those shows where on paper I should love it.
Yeah.
But I've watched it a few times and just my whole review of it has been
But did you ever like Arliss?
No.
That was another show.
I don't think I never watched a
Arliss
second
is pretty
of Arliss.
Good. Robert Wool. It's a very similar show where, he plays, I think Arliss was like a lawyer or sports manager or something like that. Agent, okay.
Well,
yeah, so it had a lot of sports personalities that would do cameos and shit like that, but they didn't have like game footage or wasn't intricate to the plot, somebody winning or losing a game.
But I like The Rock. I like Rob Corddry, my doppelganger.
They're great together. They are.
It's about sports. I should love this show. And every time I've watched an episode, I've been like,
I don't know. It does.
What the kids used to say, meh.
Dude, the guy who plays he's like the star quarterback guy on the show. That's played by, God damn it, I can't remember his name, but that's Denzel Washington's son. So it's really good.
So blankety blank Washington.
Somebody Washington. But The Guardian had a story about, speaking of bongs, this is what I wanted to go to. We had to do this strain eventually, right?
Yes.
This is one of the symptoms is rambling. So The Guardian says has legal cannabis killed the bong? Huh? It's a real whodunit.
Do tell, The Guardian.
Maybe there's some clues in the story as to the bong murderer is.
Colonel Mustard in the
cannabis
man cave.
Under cannabis prohibition, nothing signified one's love of the plant more than bongs. I don't know if that it was just the most obvious and hard to hide, right?
Yeah.
You didn't.
When your parents came over, he had to make sure you hit all the bongs.
If you want to be a covert smoker, then you usually have like a small tin that you can fit everything into.
Oh, yeah.
That you can stash in a sock drawer or something of that nature. If you're worried about another family member possibly going through your room, then having a bong handy is probably not a great idea.
Now my tin is like this room.
Yes. Health-conscious users who prefer to vape don't have much use for them.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. When's the last time we've hit a bong?
Years.
It's been a long time. We used to do regular bong hits on the show, and then I think it just got out of hand because half of the show was just bubbling.
Yeah, well, too, and then you haven't added out coughs.
Yeah, a lot of coughs.
Which is like, bong hits.
Yeah, which is what you do. I mean, that's part of doing a good bong rip is coughing it out. With legalization underway, bongs have an image problem. The wellness-obsessed cannabis industry doesn't have much use for them. Well, considering that they are just big glass vases that constantly collect soot.
Yeah, right. And mold.
If you're one who thinks a lot about what happens in your lungs, you might look at that thing and go, that kind of is like a representation of somebody's lungs. And
then, it just reminds you what's going into your lungs.
The weed passes through that thing and then goes into my lungs, but it leaves all that shit there. But then that is part of why you have the water part of a proper water bong. I mean, they're not saying water bong here, but I'm assuming that everybody
is there any other kind? Oh yeah, there's steamrollers.
Yeah, I think that's in a way has a dry bong feel. I don't know what you would call it. It's just a steamroller, right? I don't even know what we're talking about.
Bongs, man.
No, the story. I mean, it lists many different statistics of like bong sales are down, but this is it.
Graphics filed for Chapter 11,
but it's all right in the headline there.
That's a company.
Millennials like to vape. Why would they bong?
Is Graphics still around? Maybe the story is right. Remember, Graphics was a status symbol.
I don't know. I'm checking now to see because they have some brands that they list here.
If you had a Graphics bong,
yeah, that was the king.
Yeah.
I don't see their name mentioned in here. Well, maybe the bong's like metal. Like it just got so complex that it doesn't even appeal to the casual listener anymore. Because where the bong really lives is with the wax and other types of smokable concentrates. The people who really like that shit.
Graphics still around. The original water pipe since 1988.
Man, they haven't changed their logo.
Oh, they got girls with fat asses on their website now, though.
Whenever we are smoking, it feels like I hit this shit from a bong. It's got a bit of a creeper effect. Kind of snuck up on me.
Yeah, we are smoking space candy.
That explains it.
Sounds right. Sounds
you didn't tell me we were going to space. All right, show of hands. Who hasn't been to space?
Oh, you've never been?
That's like my favorite joke in Endgame. A bunch of heroes pile into a spaceship with Rocket Raccoon, and he's like, show of hands, who hasn't been to space? And they're all like, what? But none of us have been to space. I think Nebula's on there, and she's like, yeah, obviously. So it's space candy. So I like to guess. But I know. I got nothing for you.
Space Candy from Leafly.com. Space Candy originally comes from Heroes of the Farm, who bred this hybrid strain by crossing Cherry Space Queen and Cotton Candy.
I should have guessed the Cotton Candy. I've never heard of Cherry Space Queen. It sounds like
I've
right
heard
up
of
my
Space
alley.
Queen. I haven't heard of Cherry Space Queen. The genetic combination is as decadent as it sounds, as Space Candy inherits a unique flavor profile of candied apples and sweet cherry, counterbalanced by more tame, earthy notes. Its effect may take some time to taper in, but once they do, expect to experience the mind-body balance of invigorating euphoria and deep physical relaxation. It says euphoric, relaxed, tingly, energetic, hungry. Medically,
it's definitely heavier on the body buzz.
Good for stress, fatigue, insomnia, depression, spasticity. What? That is a first.
Wait, saying that it's like good if you're spastic, or that it?
Yeah, like it's good for. It's one of the medical benefits.
Spasticity.
So yeah, if
I
you're
can barely say that.
Negatives, it gives you dry mouth. Correct.
It
Dry
very
eyes.
much. Yeah, dry mouth is number one. I told you.
Makes you anxious, dizzy, gives you dry eyes.
I think a little bit of the anxiety too. Not in a way that made me nervous, but just because I kept losing my train of thought. Because I'd start thinking ahead of myself. That was abrupt. But there you are. It's got to happen.
Yes.
We got to end it. We got to call it.
I'm getting a hook, like at the Apollo. Sandman's coming out. He's got the broom. Time to go, kids. Here's Mr. Top Show. Mention again. A lot of you listen on Spotify. Hi, hello. Thank you for listening. Tell a friend. For those of you that are listening on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, ChristopherMedia.net, wherever else you listen to the podcast, thank you. And again, also, tell a friend. Go to ChristopherMedia.net, check out all of the other shows. We have good old Space Candy. We got an Amazon link, we got a PayPal button, we got all that stuff. Check us out on Tuesdays, Fridays. Stay high.
Stay high.
The Weedsman Podcast. ChristopherMedia.net.
Our business needs vans, lots of vans, and Europcar meets our day-to-day needs all across the country, providing our company with the ideal selection of small, medium, or large vans and trucks, and even bespoke commercial vehicles delivered directly to our premises.
From our 22 nationwide locations, Europcar supplies Irish businesses with an unrivaled range of vans, 4x4 pickups, 4-seater commercial SUVs, and double cab tippers. With 9,000 vehicles in our fleet, there's no demand we can't fulfill. Europcar, moving your way.
Everyone shouts about how fast their broadband is.
We're fast, mega fast, stupid fast, almost too fast.
But what do they say about reliability? Well, Dublin, with Virgin Media, you get both. Ireland's fastest broadband network and 99.9% network reliability. Reliability at speed. See virginmedia.ie.
Terms and conditions apply. Ireland's fastest broadband network as awarded by Ookla. Network reliability. See virginmedia.ie/proof.
ChristopherMedia.net. If you like this show, please tell a friend. Please make sure to rate and comment on all your favorite Christopher Media shows. Please follow us on Twitter and like and share us on Facebook. You can subscribe to all ChristopherMedia.net shows for free on ChristopherMedia.net. Thank you for listening, and thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net. Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Is that Shakespeare?
Nope, it's Geico.
Yeah, that's Shakespeare from one of his unpublished works. Oh, it be not for awakening. Nay, giveth thou the berries. For 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Nope, it's from Geico, because they help save people money.
Well, I hate to break it to you, but Geico got it from Shakespeare.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
At NJM Insurance, making our customers happy is what makes us number one. J.D. Power ranked us first in the nation for customer satisfaction with the auto insurance claims experience. Get award-winning service at njm.com. This isn't just insurance, it's NJM.